Hello everyone, how's it going? I'm WoWCrendor and welcome to the top 5 things about Classic WoW you've already heard, but I'm repeating because you're bored and I need to make money. I actually wanted to upload this on April Fool's Day, but I missed it by a day. But you know what? I think that's fitting for my brand, my personality. So yeah, I thought this would be a great series, just as a goof, but honestly, I could probably do this for a lot of different things, but I thought, hey, let's start out with some Classic WoW things. So first up, top 5 things about Classic WoW you've already heard, but I'm repeating because you're bored and I need to make money. Let's go! Number 1, it was a different world, guys. Alright? It was an entirely different world back then, okay? This was 2004, 2005, you know? These were old graphics, alright? You had slower leveling. You had to walk everywhere. You were running out of quests. Alright, the game didn't hold your hand like a little baby, you know? You weren't just walking around there like, oh, go over here, and then you had to walk over there. It wasn't, you know, it was different. You died. Alright, you walked around, you actually died grinding mobs. You probably saw that from the WoW demo. Okay, you might have been playing your class, you're trying to do something, and then you realize, oh, I have to eat and drink after every mob I kill. Because, you know, it's not a game for babies. So, I would say my number 1 thing about Classic WoW that you've already heard, but I'm repeating, is that it's not a baby game, alright? It's not a hand-holding game, and you can't just pay to win. Well, I guess you can't really pay to win now, but I mean, you can pay to get stuff. You couldn't pay for anything back then, except to play the game. You paid to play the game, and that was it. I guess that could be another thing on the list, but, whatever. Number 2 is that mounts were extremely difficult to get, alright? You didn't get your mount until level 40. You didn't get your epic mount until level 60. And by get your mount, I don't mean, you know, here's your mount, congratulations. I mean, you had access to your mount at those levels. You couldn't just go buy it, all right? You needed to have the gold. Most people didn't have the gold, so you had to go farm the gold. You had to go grind. And man, there's a lot of grinding. And you had to play the auction house, and you had to manage your money. And most of us were too dumb to do it back then. And I'm sure a lot of people have figured it out now, but that's besides the point, all right? This is again, it's not a baby game at this point. You are gonna have to make money to earn your mount, okay? So tip number 2 is have enough money to, oh wait, that's not even what I'm doing. I'm doing things about Classic WoW you've already heard, not tips. Mounts were very difficult to get. Number 3 is there was no group finder back then, alright? You had to go into your local trade chat, world chat, general chat, and you had to find a group. Or I guess there was also looking for group chat. But I think they added that a little bit later. But I guess it would be here for Classic WoW. Either way, you had to find a group on your own. And then you had to all walk there or have a warlock summon you. Alright, there wasn't even meeting stones. Okay, and then, you know, dungeons just in general were a lot harder. You had to crowd control stuff. You had to have keys to open the doors. You had to get attuned for raids. And not to mention, it was 40-man raiding. Alright, those were some big raids. And you needed to be attuned for it. You needed all those people to get attuned before you could even go into that raid. And epic gear. Why did I say that so weird? Epic gear. Epic gear was epic. I'm sure you haven't heard that one before. But the other thing is that you actually needed resistance gear. Resistance gear was a very big thing. Maybe you actually haven't heard that one. Resistance gear, you needed for a lot of stuff. Like Onyxia, you actually needed fire resistance. There's a lot of molten core bosses. So that would be number 3. Dungeons. More difficult, not for big loser babies. Number 4 are the little details to the game that made it an RPG, alright? It wasn't like now, where everything's really generalized. It was an old school RPG. You had to buy your arrows. You had to buy your spells. You had to pay money to respec your talents. You had old school talent trees, alright? Now, if you're like, ooh, I level up, what do I get? A fancy new spell? No, you got 1% hit, and you liked it. Alright, Timmy? So, how about you just get happy you got anything? Because now in the game, you don't even get something when you level up. Alright, so just be happy you got something. You know, it was just more of an RPG. You had a better community. Just a nice server community, where you knew everybody. I remember back when I would play, there's this guy in Warsong Gulch I would see all the time, and I ended up making friends with him, and now, I don't know where he is. I don't know if he still plays WoW or what he does, but I still remember that guy just from being on the server. So server communities, a big thing tying into that RPG feel for the game, and really, just a lot of nuances too. Or is that the right word? Nuances, like annoying things. That's the right word, right? Like flight paths. You know, you only had to use you had less flight paths, and you had to click on each one to go around when you wanted to fly. So say if you're like in Orgrimmar and you want to fly to Tanaris, well, I guess that's not a good one to choose because that goes straight there. If you want to fly to Silithus, you'd have to fly to like Thunderbluff, then you'd have to land, and then you have to click on the next place you go, like Ungoro, and then you have to click again to get to Silithus. You had to click on each one, so you couldn't just go AFK watching dumb YouTube videos like this one. And number 5 was Alterac Valley was 10 years long. All right, nobody finished Alterac Valley. They lasted forever. They did not end, and when they did end, people aged. They grew beards, they grew facial hair, they lost their jobs, they got new jobs, they got new relationships, they lost relationships. You know, it was war. So I can't wait to jump into an Alterac Valley, experience that again, and then be like, all right, it's taken a really long time for this to end. But that's part of the fun, right? So either way, that was my top 5 things. You've probably already heard about Classic WoW, but I'm repeating because you're bored and I need to make money. I hope I wasted some of your time. I hope you enjoyed this like partial April Fool's joke that I uploaded the day after April Fool's. I can make more of these that don't even have to be on April Fool's. I can teach you how to stream. All right, I can teach you the top 5 things about how to become a streamer. You've probably already heard, but I'd repeat to make money. Things like be consistent. Things like be yourself. Just be yourself, okay? Just everybody just wants to see you be yourself unless you're boring. Then don't do that. Then be funnier. So thanks for listening. Here's some more videos you can go watch, and maybe I'll make more real videos, or maybe I'll just upload more VODs from Twitch. I don't know. Okay. See ya.